If you remember correctly, before we mentioned that we have some issues on our movie information page on mobile devices. In this case, this text gets outside of the page's width and then we can move it around, which is not a good thing. So let's fix that. That's going to be inside of the movie information, specifically inside of this typography where we're looping over the languages. And I've just noticed that there is always going to be at least one spoken language, so we don't have to do this check at all. We can completely remove it, and we can simply display / and then say language is going to be colon, and then we can display that specific language. Of course, in that case, we don't need this ternary here, and also we might not need this /, so let's just leave it like this. In this case, this doesn't have to be a string at all. We can simply show a language and then this piece of data. Great. Of course, we have to differentiate the minutes from the language, so I will try with one narrow line. Of course, you can use something like this or really any character that you want. Let's see how this looks like. Now, if we reload the page, you can see that the minutes and the language shows up below the actual rating, which is great, but we still have that little wiggle to the side. So let's see what is causing it. Our actors seem to be fine. They are coming up to this point. Our buttons are also right here, which is fine. And then our movies also seem to be fine. So where is the issue? Let's think about it. Let's go to some kind of a different movie, popular, for example, Venom. And there is still that same wiggle right here. It could be the navigation bar. Let's see. Yep, it looks like it's the navigation bar because you can see how it has this extra space here. If I turn around, we can now see the login, but now we can see the menu. And if I go right, we cannot see it. So it looks like on mobile devices, the navigation bar is going outside of the mobile view. Let's see how we can fix that. If I select our navigation bar right here, we can inspect some of its styles. Right here, there we go. You can even see visually how it goes outside of this view. And the first thing that we can do is remove the search from the navigation bar if we're not on the landing page. So we only want to show the search if we are looking at different movies. But if we are on a specific movie, in that case, we want to hide the search bar. So let's do that right now. We can go inside of our search component. And then right here, we can use this location by saying const location is equal to use location. And we can say if location dot path name is not equal to /. In that case, return null. We don't want to show the search bar if we're not on just /. With that, there is no search bar, which looks a bit cleaner, but we still have an issue with the navigation bar. So let's see what the issue could be. I'll try to trigger on and off some of these properties, like align items, as you can see, padding left, padding right, nothing seems to be fixing it. The height is all right, space between is also all right, and there doesn't seem to be anything special that's breaking it. If we go to our header here, let's see, the position is fixed, which is fine, right is 0, everything seems to be fine, but there is still this wiggle to the right. Let's go ahead and debug it together. I would personally try debugging this by inspecting the entire window this navigation bar is in. For example, you can see that if we inspect this, it goes to the full right side, and if we go here, it also goes to the full left. So the top navigation bar is taking more space than it should, or our device is not wide enough. So if we go and inspect our main, let's try giving it a width of 100% because that's how much it should take. And if we do that, our navigation bar decreases in size and that little wobble becomes unnoticeable. That basically fixed the issue because both our menu and also our login fit on the same screen. So the only thing we have to do is add width of 100% to our main. Our main is contained right inside of here, inside of content and root. So let's go to the styles of the app.js, and right inside of here, we can give it a width of 100%. Let's save that and reload the page. As you can see, everything seems to be great now. All of the navigation bar contents fit on our mobile view. If we try extending it to mobile M, that also works even better. And on tablet device, we have this view. Also, the portrait seems to be broken here. So let's see what's the issue with this. Let's try giving it a height of auto and width of 300 pixels. That doesn't seem to be doing it because we're not changing the actual image. We have to go inside of this div and to the image. This fixed height seems to be breaking it, and also it's not centered. So on medium devices, we should also center this specific image and remove the height. We can do that by going to movie information and then going to the styles, and that's going to be our poster image. So what we've said is that we need to remove our height on medium devices. Let's go ahead and do that right away. If we do that, we can see that this is displaying nicely, and this is going to be a grid that's going to have a height of auto and width of 300%. So what if we could give it a display which would be equal to flex, and basically we need to add a margin bottom, which would be something like 20 pixels, or we can even do 30. Yep, this looks a lot better. So we have to apply display flex and margin bottom to a div that already has a width of 300. Let's see if we can find that div. 300 doesn't seem to be here, but we can see that our poster here is inside of this grid. So right here, we can just say style and apply a display flex, as well as the margin bottom right here. We can do it in line and add a comma, say margin bottom here, and also this needs to be a string. So if we do that, let's see if that's going to do it. I saved the file and let's check it out. I'm gonna reload the page, and there we go. It looks great on iPhone X and all other mobile devices. It also looks great on iPads, as you can see. We can also try iPad Pro. Looks good. The image is a bit too tall, but it looks fine. And then we can check on Pixel 2 XL, which is a really large phone. Looks great, full HD. This is it. And in here, we have the best possible resolution and aspect ratio. One thing that we can do is we can modify our scrolling bar right here. And we can do that by adding a special styles file right here inside of the source. And that's going to be next to our index.js straight inside of the source. We can do index.css. Inside of this file, we can say dash webkit dash scroll bar. And we can simply say width is 7 pixels to decrease it a bit. Again, I'm going to copy this, and we can change the WebKit scroll bar dash track. We're going to set the background to be something like hexadecimal value of CFCFCF, and we can copy it one more time and change the thumb to be equal to A5, A5, A5. And finally, we can say all and then remove the text decoration, because remember, we've had some issues with that where we would see that underline right there, so we can set it to none. Finally, inside of the index.js, we can simply import in a string /index.css. Now, if we go back and reload the page, you can see that our scroll bar looks just a bit different, but now we cannot see how we're scrolling, so it looks like something is a bit off. Let's go back to our index.css. In here, this should have been thumb. That way it's going to be a bit darker so we can see what we're scrolling. And there we go. You can see it's just a bit different now. It's not a basic default one. It just looks just a bit better and custom. Great. So this part is now done completely. We have our movie information page, we have our top cast, we can paginate through different movies, we can also go to all different kinds of genres, paginate through those as well. We can also search for different movies, so I can go to Superman, or we can search for Iron Man. There we go, that works as well. And finally, let's check the login functionality to see if that is working. I'm gonna click approve, and we're logged in and we can see my movies, which means that that part works as well. There was a small thing I've just noticed once we reloaded back from the login page. So I'm going to go to my movies, log out, and then I'm gonna click login again and approve. Take a look. The page is actually empty. In here, we should be seeing some movies. So let's see why that is not the case. If I go to the console, we cannot really see much. But when I reload the page, we still cannot see anything. And I'm guessing that's because we are on a new special route. So we have to go back to our app. That's going to be inside of the components app. And then in here, the path for movies is not going to be just /. It's going to be an array of 2 paths, where the first one is going to be / and the second one is going to be / approved. Great. So let me fix this issue that I have right now. In this case, we just have to wrap it in curly braces. And now we'll be ready to take a look. I'm gonna reload the page. And now even on the approved page, we can see the movies. But let's test it one more time. I'm gonna log out. I'm gonna log in again and approve. And there we go. We can instantly see the movies. So this lecture has been mainly just fixing some of the small issues we've had and polishing our app to be even better. Great. This is now working perfectly. We just have a few more things to implement. One of those is dark mode, and the second one is the profile page where we can see the favorited movies and watchlisted movies. So in the next lecture, we're going to implement favorite and watchlist movie functionality.